Hey guys, welcome to my channel. In today's video we're going to be batch cooking for about 2 weeks or 1 month depending, and here are my ingredients. Soup already in the freezer. I also have banga soup. I have draw soup, egusi soup. So I just want to make stew, beans, and dinner for today. That's because I still have some things in my freezer. So this is chicken I'm going to be using for my stew. As you already may know, we don't do too much meat in this house. Yes, because we try to live healthy and it's cheaper too. So this is some meat. We're going to be using for the pepper soup. This is mostly, it's I think brisket bone mostly, and then some flesh inside the bone too. So we just want to use it to make some pepper soup, yam pepper soup. I'm going to be using this frozen pepper. I have the habanero pepper, I have yellow pepper. Yes, I'm going to be combining with this because that's how I do every week to make my life easier during the week. This is my pepper and it's still thawing. This has been thawing for quite a while. I'm not sure I can wait for it to thaw any longer. I'll cook it that way. This I'm going to be using to make my stew. Part of it, just a little bit, I'll be using to make my stew base. I'm going to be using this one to add to for the stew because I don't want a lot of tomatoes in my stew. Yeah, but the bulk of it is for jollof rice. Okay, for my stew base, which I will end up using for jollof rice, for pasta, for porridge in the course of the week, because it takes some time to fry these things in the morning when you're trying to rush to meet up with preparing the kids and all of that. I have been soaking these beans for some hours, like 3-4 hours now, and it was halfway when I soaked it. This is honey beans and this is what it looks like now. I first washed it and threw away the water, and then I soaked this. I'm going to be throwing this water away again. And what this does, or what this helps me do, is to make sure that I don't have bloating when I eat beans or gas issues. So if you're having beans, if you take beans and you have gas issues, this will help you. This method will help you take care of it. You don't have to suffer that anymore. I'm going to be cooking it in my pressure pot. And then I have my onions that I have cut. I also have my other ingredients. Anything that I have not prepared yet, I'll be preparing as we go. So guys, stick with me while we start cooking. I'm going to start with the beans. I already soaked the beans like I told you guys. See chairman collecting his tin. So I'm going to pour in the beans into the pot. I already soaked these beans for a couple of hours, and so putting water, and I'm going to be adding some onions and seasoning. Yes, the reason for this is so it adds a very rich flavor to the beans. So if you decide to use it for plain white rice or jollof or rice and beans mix, whether white with stew or jollof, is going to be absolutely delicious. That is, if whether you decide to fry your beans, the sauce for your beans or not, it's going to be give you really nice flavor. So I've added the oil in the pan to heat up while I am blending my crayfish and pepper mix, which I always do every week or every 2 weeks depending on how I use it. This is to help me have something I'm going to be using in the course of the week, so that I have something flavorful. I've already added yellow pepper, which gives you a very lovely flavor. And this is what it looks like. I normally use a food processor and not a blender because it gives me that chunky feel, which I love. And my onions, I'm going to be frying for a couple of minutes until it turns translucent. Meanwhile, I'm seasoning my chicken with curry, thyme, and then my mixed spices. That's Jaima mixed spices, and then some salt. And my pepper and crayfish mix gives a yummy flavor. I'm stirring this together and I'm going to let it cook. In the time being, because I don't have space to cook it, I'll just let it sit and marinate. I'm adding my tin tomatoes into this now because I'm making stew base. This is my stew base. I want to make this so that my jollof and my porridges during the course of the week is going to be seamless. It's not going to stress me. I'm adding some water to loosen it up so that I can fry properly and get cooked. I'm doing this to save me some hours that I would spend if I don't do this during the course of the week when I have to go to work and all of that. But if I do this now, it makes my life easier, even though this is really not so necessary. I don't have a lot of fresh tomato. That's why I'm having to do tin tomatoes. But really, For me, tomatoes is always, I prefer it for jollof, except of course I'm using tatashe, shombo as an alternative. And I also added some fresh pepper and fresh tomatoes into this mixture and some bay leaves, which I'm just going to fry the hell out of it. So I have my cooked chicken that is already cooked, and I'm just adding some water to make sure that the extra cooks properly until it's properly done. So I'm going to just give this one more stir and be sure that the taste is in order, and then I'm gonna be, frying. Meanwhile, I took out some oil. Don't worry, it's cold. It's not hot. If not, I've melted this sieve right now. So I'm just pouring this in, and I really want to start frying my stew. One of the secrets of making delicious stew is to have a lot of oil to fry with. Of course, you can always remove the excess oil when you're done. And so I have my meat that I'm going to be using for the for the pepper soup. I have it's mostly bone, but some reasonable flesh in it, and also brisket bone. So I'm going to be seasoning all of that while I'm cooking my other stews. So I've added my seasoning and onions into the mix, into the pots, which I'm going to use to cook the pepper soup. I'm adding my curry, my thyme, and then of course my mixed spice, and then my pepper crayfish mix. This makes a whole difference. And then my salt. I'm adding water because this is really, a bulk of it is bone, just to help it get started. Yeah, I really don't mind. And then I'm frying my chicken. This chicken, I don't like to fry my chicken too much. While that is frying, I'm also stirring my stew base. I had to interchange because that bigger gas burns faster. So since I'm going to be frying the chicken, I'm going to make it stew. I'm frying it on this cooker so that it can cook faster. Now I'm frying my stew proper. I've added my onions. I'm going to fry this till it's translucent. Again, I'm switching my pot because I want to buy some time. It's almost lunchtime and we have to dinner and we have to eat, so I'm gonna make this to be faster, well, because I have a few more things to cook. So I have my onions cooking away, I have my thyme, my curry, and I'm stirring, and I'm going to add just one of these tomatoes, 400 grams, to help the fresh tomatoes. Yeah, it's a different whole flavor when you don't use tomatoes for your stew, but I like the taste that I get when I cook with the tomatoes. But just for a different flavor, because I like to change things around, twist things around. Sometimes I use and sometimes I may not use. Yeah, that's really the idea. I'm adding some salt, my pepper mix, pepper soup spice, and then in goes my pepper blend. For more about my pepper blend, you want to subscribe to my channel. By the way, my guys, my name is Ogi and I'm reaching from Abuja, Nigeria. I make videos on healthy living, budgeting, and of course great recipes. Yes, this is my corn. We're going to be cooking some beans and corn. This is corn season. If you've not eaten beans and corn before, man, come and queue up. Let me teach you how to do it. So I'm adding my yam now because my meat is cooked, and I'm just using one of the yam to push it down to make sure that it's all embedded in the water. And then I'm going to be cooking this, and it's going to be cooked. Yam pepper soup is really, really yummy. Okay, so I have my corn that I have removed from the cob, and I'm going to be using that to make beans and corn. If you've not had beans and corn before, man, you're gonna try it. And this is rainy season, the best time to have fresh corn and enjoy your beans and corn. Corn contains a lot of fiber, and of course beans also has fiber, but I prefer to use soft beans and soft corn. That just makes it, just go smoothly. I've added some onions. I'm stirring together while I'm still stirring my stew. Yes, stew takes a while to cook. And I'm moving this to my gas, and I'm going to be adding other spices, my beans, my pepper mix, and some of the tomatoes are fried, salt, seasoning cubes, and palm oil. Stirring this together. Okay, I like my beans being really soft and mushy. Yes, that's why I added extra water. Of course, going to cook and dry just a little bit, and when it gets cold, it cools down too, but I like it really soft and a bit wet. Yes, so my beans is ready now. I'm just wanting to cook one more time and then that'll be all. So my stew is ready, and I'm going to quickly put back my stew base, which I didn't finish up because I wanted to finish up other things. And yeah, this extra oil I'm going to be taking away to cook my jollof and porridges if need be. So this is me adding some water in my stew base. I necessarily need to do this, but I just did it to add some volume to it. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is all that I'm going to be doing today in today's video. Let me know if you do by giving me a thumbs up. That way YouTube knows that you're enjoying the video. And also feel free to drop your comments below, and don't forget to share this video with your friends and loved ones. Don't forget to subscribe too if you have not yet already subscribed. I'll be seeing you guys in another video. Until then, stay safe. Bye bye.